if I wanted to copy animation, the first thing that I don't want to do typically is use edit, copy, paste up here. That's copying and pasting a different element. I want to use the edit, copy, paste in the graph editor. I also don't typically recommend using the shortcuts Control C, Control V. The reason for that is it can cause issues sometimes. Like, for example, for me, I don't know why this happens. It's happened regardless of computers that I work on. When I try to copy and paste, Maya always tries to save the scene. It's just like the shortcut key for copy paste also hits Control S to save. It's weird. It just happens. I don't know why. So I don't use that shortcut key. I've also had issues where it just doesn't copy and paste correctly. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you're using the copy paste in here. Now the next thing, when you're copying animation, that's easy. You just select the animation and hit copy. That's all you really need. Usually I don't worry about the options in here because I just select the range that I want. This would only apply if you only wanted to copy like from the start and end or exactly from your time slider down here. Honestly, I just select my keys that I want to copy regardless and just copy them. So I almost never use this. Now with pasting, this is where it gets tricky. With the paste, you always want to double check your options in here. So edit, paste, go to the options. And there's a bunch of different things in here that you want to double check. So let me actually reset these here. Okay. So the first important thing is time range. Where are you going to paste the animation? By default, it's set to current, which is going to be your current frame. So if I copied my animation from frame, let's do this. I'm going to create a simple cube. And we're just going to do some simple animation here. So from frame 1 to 15 and then to 31 like that. And let's actually... Okay. So this is not a great animation by any means, but I just want some motion here. Okay. So the cube goes over and then back. There we go. So if I was to copy this animation here, we'll just go to edit, copy, and then I want to paste it maybe on the rotate X. If I just select the range that I want to copy to, there's a few things that are going to happen. First, we need to indicate where we're going to copy and paste the frames to. If I have this set to current and paste, you're going to notice that the animation pastes from the frame that I am currently sitting on. So in this case, frame 27. If I wanted to match exactly, that means I would have to go back to frame 1 and then hit paste. And now it goes into the right spot. I could also just set this to the start frame or start and end or clipboard, which is going to take from the original source. So this is very important. You want to make sure that you know what this is set to so that you know where the animation is going to paste when you paste it. Here you have some offsets. So if you want to offset it by 5 frames or maybe offset it by a certain value, you can do that. How many copies do you want to do? This is great for like cycles and stuff, although I usually use infinity curves for things like that. But now we go into the extra pasting options, and these are very important here. These are going to determine how the animation gets pasted in. So we've got insert or merge. Insert will place the animation in and move any existing animation out of the way. So for example, right now we've got a key on frame 1, 15, and 31. If I paste the current animation I have with the insert option turned on, you'll see the new range, this is what I just pasted, goes in, and the rest of the animation gets pushed over to the side. So it inserts it and adjusts the timing for the rest. This can work very nicely, but if you're trying to copy the animation over and like just replace it, this is going to cause a lot of issues because you're going to get keys in extra areas, which kind of becomes annoying. Connect here, this will just make sure to connect the animation to the current time. So let me actually show this. So if I have connect turned off, let's undo, and I move this up, so this range at a value of about 250. If I have connect turned off and I paste, it's going to paste those original values the way they were. So right there, you can see how it goes down. If I have connect turned on, it's going to paste that and connect it to the existing curve. So it just determines where it's going to kind of go in values. This can be very helpful, especially for certain moments, especially a walk cycle where you don't want to reset the pose, but just kind of add a little extra to it. Now, kind of going back to the paste method, we talked about insert, which just kind of inserts things. Now we have merge. Merge is going to be is nice because it copies over the animation. So if I do this and hit apply, you'll notice that, it's all being replaced. Great. But that's because all my keys lined up. If they didn't, what I'm going to get is something like this. Boop. And now my curve is really weird, because what ended up happening is it pasted the animation and kept the original keys and just threw everything else in, and it basically just mixed the two curves together, and we get this hodgepodge, which is kind of annoying. So for me personally, I usually have merge set as my default, just because that's what I like normally. Sometimes, actually, no, I'll take that back. Usually I have insert more recently, just because of the connect option, which is nice. I like that. Merge doesn't give you that. It just pastes the values as is. So insert, I nowadays I tend to use this more. But what I will always do when I'm copying animation, especially when I want to replace animation, is I just delete the keys first. So if I have a curve here and I want to replace the animation or just copy a curve from another one and make something new out of it, I'm just going to delete all the keys except for the first one. So now we just have this one key here, and then paste that. Boop. And there you go. So as long as you're aware of how the paste command is going to work with the existing keys, you're all good. And usually it's that insert or merge, as well as the time range right here. Where is it going to paste? As long as you think of those two things, you should be good.